What's up, guys? This is Travis Fowler, Harkrider, here with the Four Corner Post. And just like WCW's 3 rings at World War III, I got 3 names, so you can call me World War T. I never claimed to be a comedian. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut episode of our weekly YouTube show, where we are going to be counting up the top 10 news stories in the world of professional wrestling. So if you like this video, do me a favor. Hit that little subscribe button down there. Also, why don't you like it, share it with some of your friends, and hit that bell over there too. That way you get notified every time we upload a new video to the channel and you never have to miss a single episode. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the debut of the 10 Count. Starting off the count out, we're going to go with the return of the King of the Ring tournament and the debut of the Queen's Crown tournament. Now, it had been rumored over the last couple months that WWE was playing around with the idea of a Queen of the Ring tournament, and that would coincide with the return of King of the Ring. Obviously, we saw that announced last week on SmackDown, and earlier this week, they announced both participants for the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown tournaments. Spoiler from my side, I kind of want Zelina Vega to win the Queen's Crown, and I really want Finn Bálor to win King of the Ring. Speaking of Finn Bálor, coming in at number 2, apparently Finn has some support over on the Raw brand, and that's good news because there was a writer who rumoredly wants him to have a big role on the Red brand. As we saw in the draft, Drew McIntyre went over to SmackDown, so it left sort of a huge void in the main event scene. But apparently this writer, according to WrestleVotes, said he was pounding the table wanting Finn over on the Raw brand. Now, this is apparently so that he can fill the shoes of Drew McIntyre's spot that he is vacating by going over to SmackDown. This, to me, is a good sign and hopefully means several good more things to come for Finn Bálor, considering that atrocity that took place at Extreme Rules. Only time will tell, but maybe the King of the Ring is the start. Coming in at number 3 on our news stories, a new title in AEW. Now, this also had been rumored for a few months now, and it certainly has come to fruition. Ringside News said that they were playing around with the idea of introducing a new title for the women's division, and we finally have that title. Coincidentally, it also coincides with another network that will be hosting AEW Dynamite starting in January. We got the debut and introduction, I should say, of the TBS title. This title is going to be exclusive to the women's division, and one can only hope that this secondary women's title is treated much better than what the women's tag titles were treated over in the WWE. The way AEW has been going, though, with their women and their divisions, I think that we can strongly say that their women's division and secondary title may be in, I'd say, at least decent hands. Coming in at number 4, speaking of women, is the return of WOW. The Women of Wrestling organization is coming back in January of 2022. And they already hit us big with a huge announcement. The return of AJ Mendez, formerly known as AJ Lee. She is announced to apparently have an executive producer's role along with a color commentary position. No word, though, if she's going to actually step back inside the ring. But we already know a couple people that will be stepping inside the ring, as it was also announced that the current reigning champion, The Beast, will defend her championship against Tessa Blanchard, the woman who apparently has nuclear heat with just about every company in the world, and nobody wants anything to do with her, but she's capitalizing on it with a new t-shirt, so props to Tessa. Coming in at number 5, we've got the debut, I believe it's pronounced Parker, but hold on, Bedrokes. I think that sounds better. Harlan, there we go. We're just gonna go with his name, Harlan, because that's what he is down in NXT now. Gotta get that IP in there, WWE, wink, wink. But Harlan made his debut this past week on NXT, showing up in the stands after Joe Gacy's match and giving him a menacing stare down. One can only wonder exactly what they've got planned for this guy, and hopefully he lives up to all the hype that WWE is expecting him to do. But filling the Brock Lesnar shoes, That's a lot to ask of somebody. Coming in at number 6, speaking again of NXT, the return of Halloween Havoc. It is amazing to see this come back. It was my favorite pay-per-view back in WCW. Has anybody noticed like NXT is kind of like the little child of WCW? I mean, Halloween Havoc, Great American Bash, War Games, and their title looks a little similar to the big gold belt from the WCW days. I'm just saying. Coming in at number 7, we saw this past Monday on Raw during Dana Brooke's match, Corey Graves absolutely buried Dana Brooke on commentary, saying that maybe WWE should think about cutting bait. Vince McMahon is heavily involved in all of the commentary's ears, and it's relentless. So usually when you hear that, that's Vince McMahon saying, hey, speak these words. So does that mean he really feels that way about Dana Brooke? Well, Dana's not letting it get her down, as she actually fired back at Graves earlier in the week, saying that, why should I even worry about anybody's opinion of me when he's not even doing anything? Well, okay, she didn't directly reference him, but the post was definitely a fire back towards all of the stuff he had been saying on commentary towards her. Is this legit heat? Most people seem to think so. Also about NXT over on the UK side of things at number 8, we get the return of fans after 18 months. This is actually really good for the brand. Personally, I was very interested in NXT UK when it started off, and unfortunately, I even fell out of it, but I kind of did that pre-pandemic too. But I have actually been really interested to see what they do with Ilya Dragunov and his now NXT UK Championship reign, and they have a lot of talent over there. So hopefully getting the fans back is going to encourage more people to tune in and watch the NXT UK brand, and hopefully we can keep that alive, because I know those UK fans are desperate for professional wrestling, and NXT was always great for providing good, solid wrestling action. And you've got so many guys over there, like I said, Ilya Dragunov, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, you've got Gallus. There are so many different people over there, and I can only hope the best for NXT UK. At number 9, we've got more drama, but this time it's in the form of Braun Strowman. There's been so many reports this past week over what Strowman's status is in the world of professional wrestling. Strowman claims that he has actually turned down thousands of dollars worth of offers from other wrestling companies. But according to Ringside News, he's actually been begging for his job back at WWE. There was even one wrestling promotion that offered to put Braun Strowman on janitor duty, if you can believe that. Of course, Braun refutes these claims and actually dissed Ringside News, stating that they were nothing but idiots and don't know what they're talking about. But Ringside News has actually stood by their reporting, saying that this is what they have been told. All I know is the monster among men being away from WWE is still a real shame, but according to them, even though he's been reaching back out to come back to the company, apparently they don't want anything to do with him. Coming in at number 10, and the final count out here, is The Rock a rapper? It's true. He is actually involved in a new Tech 9 song, which you can go pull up on YouTube now. I've listened to it. He doesn't do half bad. His rhyme is at the very end of the song. It's the last portion of the song, and he does pretty good. If you remember, he has a gift for gab. He could run on that mic with the best of them at any time during his WWE run, so it's not that surprising that he can put together some good verses, but I genuinely was surprised that he was decent on this track. Does that mean we're going to have more to come? Could he be the people's rapper? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the top 10 news stories that we have seen here throughout this week in professional wrestling. Again, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe, like it, share it, hit the bell so you get notified for it, and come on back next week as we're going to have even more wrestling news to share. Thanks for watching. Peace out, y'all.